How are we doing, guys? It's your favourite time of the week yet again. We're here before the whistle blows, and Locks, you've decided to join us this week, mate. How are things?
Very good, mate. Very good. Yeah, it's been a few weeks since I was on here last, so we've had like 2 Friday games in a row, so that's why I've got a good excuse.
We'll let you off, mate.
To not be here. But
you actually watch your team, so yeah, we'll let you off. We'll let you off.
Yeah, good weekend to be here, though. Good weekend to be here.
Exactly. And Hal, as always, man, how are things?
Well, I'm interested in what Locks is wearing. You look like Willy Wonka.
What?
You look like an 80s.
Right, I've seen it now. Right, I've seen it.
It's the jacket like an 80s host of Art Attack.
Cheers, mate.
It's like what is it? It's like a purple cape. You look like a failed kids magician.
It's got a bit of yellow on it, Steve. It's got a bit of yellow.
You look like a football mascot on his lunch break. You've just taken the dinosaur head off.
Anything else, Locks? Hal, sorry?
No, Locks tagged me in something earlier on Twitter, which I didn't appreciate, so I'm going after him tonight.
I did get that impression. It was 90 seconds in, you're thinking, need to whistle him early. Let him know you're there in the first 5 minutes, as they say. He's done
What was
that.
wrong? What was wrong with what I tagged you in? There's nothing wrong with that.
You reminded me of the worst game for me of the season. You know, Locks,
Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, that was the game that my nephew officially said, I don't support Sheffield United anymore. I'm supporting Man United. And you reminded me of it.
Sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry, Hal. I'm sorry you had to.
Do you know what? The fact he said sorry, I'm going to let him off. I'm going to go easy.
I'm sorry you had to go through that experience in your life. Your nephew telling you that.
I know. I've completely disowned him. I've got another nephew. And
Too right you have.
Working on him now.
That's a given. What would Roy Keane say to that? Are we not going to get Roy Keane today? Changing teams.
Manchester United over Sheffield United. Is he what? With his uncle? You follow your uncle. You follow your uncle into war. Never mind his dad. Uncle all the way. But look at him down there with it. Look at Willy Wonka. Take the jacket off, man. Have some self-respect.
That's what he said.
Anyway, Corey, how are things, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. Slipped out of the old top 4 race. So I'm a bit gutted. Looking over my shoulder, seeing Liverpool started to turn up. So yeah, it's that squeaky time, mate. 3 games left, and hopefully we get it done. But it's been a mad old season, isn't it? Anyway, so everything crossed, man. Everything crossed. Brighton are our bogey team, so I'm not looking forward to talking about them at all.
Well, before we go into that, Brighton versus West Ham, we'll remind you of our fantastic sponsors on these videos, as always, which is, of course, Football Prizes, which you'll see just to the right of Hal there, Football Prizes. Some fantastic prizes on offer this week. First of all, got an Ian Pervader signed and framed Leeds United shirt. Check that one out, guys. $4.95 a ticket. 99 tickets available on that one. Competition ends on Wednesday. And what about this for a piece? A Pele signed shirt in a large montage frame. Look at the frame. The frame's fantastic on its own. Never mind the shirt. $6.95 a ticket. 99 tickets available. Check that one out, guys. Lovely piece, that. So let's go into it then. Brighton versus West Ham. Corey, you kind of alluded to it. Is it Europa League now? Do you think?
Definitely, mate. Yeah, it says a lot if we're kind of smirking at Europa League now, but it is, unfortunately. Obviously, Manchester United didn't do us a favour.
That was a close. I tell you what, that was good recovery. Good recovery. That was
close. I could feel the heat. It was really annoying. Our Man United. To be honest, I thought they would win it easily. I didn't expect it to be a high-scoring game. And I think I said the other week that Liverpool are still there and thereabouts, and even Spurs have started looking over our shoulder. And even a bad season as they've had, if we slip up tomorrow, then it's going to be really, really tough. But to be honest, it's literally. I think they'll be all right, to be honest. But no, I think all the fixtures are in our favour naturally. And again, you can only do what you can do. But Declan Rice is back tomorrow. That's absolutely massive. And just easy 1-0s from now to the end of the season, I'll be absolutely buzzing. But yeah, it's getting a little bit stressful, Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, look, you took this at the start of the season, wouldn't you? I mean,
of course, yeah.
3 games to go and you're kind of still in the chance of top 4. From that point of view, you'd have definitely taken it. But I'll have to be honest, mate. From what I've seen at Brighton, obviously the last couple of weeks, they gave us a bit of a shock in terms of the 1-2-0, but they could have won by more goals. Yes, we had key players missing, but we could see Brighton. They do play on the front foot. I mean, Locks, can you see a potential shock, if it would be a massive shock, Brighton versus West Ham occurring?
I don't know. I think it's tough because the three are relegated now, right? The down. The three teams are down. There's no one else. Am I right? Fulham and West Brom are down, aren't they? So
yeah, they're all down.
I feel like there's just
you know the three that are down.
Well,
Why are you rubbing it in?
Well, I knew you were down. I didn't know. I forgot if Fulham were down.
I've been down for ages.
They've been down for a month.
Why do you have to say we
Jamie
were down?
Vardy.
We're down. We're not down.
But yeah, I think it's always difficult at this stage because you've got these teams at the bottom. There's not really much to play for now, is there? So from there to mid-table, I see West Ham beating because I think West Ham obviously still they should. I think they should still believe that they have a chance, albeit a slim chance, of finishing in the top four. It's going to be very difficult. But look, Europa League, you could still drop out of Europa League. So I think West Ham would be fighting for that. And all I can see is a West Ham win there.
Oscar, is your mum Greek? Is she just smashing all the plates?
Honestly, it's
it's a constant battle, isn't it?
It's a constant. It's a constant battle. I think now, the more I mentioned it, it's just deliberate now. It's just deliberate, just as much as you can. Smash them against the walls. Some are coming flying over my head at the minute, to be fair. So there you go. Trust you to pick that up on that straight away, Hal. Trust you. Observant, Howland. What's your observation on West Ham? Could they even slip out the Europa League spaces?
I hope so. Yeah, it'd be great. I went for a little walk around the grounds of leafy Buckinghamshire, where I work, with my best mate Adam, and he's a West Ham fan, and we were talking about this, about how he thinks the West Ham way is to fall out after such a good season. And he's also very concerned about David Moyes not signing a new contract. And I think Paulo Fonseca, he was saying to me, is a hot tip in the press. And Corey, you can probably tell me if this is likely, because he's a sort of young up-and-coming manager. And, the evil axis of evil that you have in charge at your board might be feeling that Fonseca is more appealing than Moyes, but maybe Moyes is just playing hardball.
I think he is. I think he's playing hardball. He's clever, Moisey. He's got the leverage now. He needs it. I think it's a little bit of a myth, because if West Ham stay up this year, he automatically gets a 1-year extension. But I am slightly concerned, with probably some clubs looking at him thinking, I'll tell you what, I'll take him on a 2-3 year deal, because he's a miracle worker. But your mate is right, Adam, in terms of that is the West Ham way to slide down. And particularly some results against Newcastle, it did feel like that. But I don't know. Hopefully we turn the corner.
I mean, yeah, it's a poor run you are on at this moment in time. I mean, what do you put it down to, Corey? I mean, I did kind of mention before, obviously, when Declan Rice got injured, that I did fear for West Ham dropping off a little bit. Is it just been Declan Rice, or has it been a bit more to it than that?
I think part of it's fatigue as well. You got to give Everton a lot of credit for that game. They did a job on us, and we couldn't deal with it. And it does feel a little bit like the wheels are falling off slightly in terms of momentum. And Angelo Ogbonna's been out as well for the past month. He's a huge miss. For me now, when you get to these type of games, it's all about mentality. On paper, West Ham should beat these sides, but they've just got to be strong enough to go and do it and go for the jugular. But yeah, definitely, I think it is a good observation. And to do the season that we've done with the squad that we've had has been really difficult just to keep going along. So I'm not surprised the players are quite tired.
That's it. I mean, the games have been tight. You've not embarrassed yourself as far as I can think of in any games. It's just the margins have gone against you a little bit, hasn't they? In the last couple of weeks. Obviously, last weekend, I don't think there was much in the game, was there really? It could have been 1-0 either way.
Well,
really.
that's the thing, mate, isn't it? Because on paper, it looks, 3 losses in 4 games, but you've got to factor in games like Chelsea and Everton, where they were quite close. Everton, obviously, I didn't expect them, and that was the tricky game going forward. But yeah, you're right. It's we haven't embarrassed ourselves at all. I think people are pointing out, because Lingard's not scoring and getting an assist every game, he's got a dip in form, but naturally that's going to happen. So yeah, not too worried from that point of view. I still think we'll go and do the business.
Well, Hal, we've got a fan there, another fan of All Hollow. I mean, anything? Give it a mention, mate. Give it a mention. I always like to tee you up early doors. So here's your first assist of the evening.
Will I swing and miss? Let's see. All Hollow, my book that I wrote with my buddy Sim. Thank you very much, Oscar. Yeah, if you'd like to get it, it's available on Amazon. If you want a signed copy, drop me a DM at DJ Hal Stewart. I will post you a signed copy. It's a thriller.
What are you going for prediction-wise in this game, mate? Are you going for a thriller in this game?
No, this one will not be a thriller at all. I see 0-0 on this one because Brighton, as we know, struggle to score goals, but apparently play great football, and everyone's interested in Graham Potter. I don't see it myself. And West Ham just on the slide, so 0-0 because Brighton are really quite poor.
Okay. I'm gonna go 1-0 West Ham here. I've got a funny feeling West Ham get the results here. Locks, what are you going for, mate?
Yeah, completely agree, mate. 1-0 West Ham.
There you go, Declan Rice from a corner. Got a feeling on that. Got a feeling on that one.
Fancy Tommy Soucek. He needs to score. It's been too long, man. It's been too long. I've missed him going up for a header.
Like, the odds tell you that eventually people like Soucek, Lingard, they're going to start scoring again.
Yeah.
I mean, the odds tell you that. So, I mean, what are you saying, Corey?
I'm going to go 2-1. I think we've got enough to get some goals in this game, but Brighton are just that side for us. They will get something from nothing. I imagine Danny Welbeck will pop up and and get a goal. He's in form at a minute. So, yeah, 2-1 West Ham.
Okay. I'm going to set you up for your second assist of the night. Second goal of the night now. Hal, talk to us about this one.
Oh, nice one, Oscar. Nice one, Chris. The Alan Shearer episode of my podcast, Once Upon a Time on the Pitch, dropped earlier this week. If you would like to check it out, you can just search Once Upon a Time on the Pitch wherever you get your podcasts. You will also find Chris Kamara talking about his time in the Navy. Not everyone knows he was in the Navy before he became a professional footballer. Vinnie Jones talking about living next door to Quentin Tarantino, and me really embarrassing myself by saying, why didn't you ask Tarantino if you can be in one of his films? And Vinnie saying, I was in one of his films. I had no idea. And also Gary Lineker talking about how he tried to engineer a move to Arsenal, but George Graham wouldn't pay the fee with Barcelona, so he went to Spurs instead. And that he gave me as an exclusive, and it made the papers a few weeks later.
Fantastic stuff. Wow, Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer. That's not too bad company to share. To be fair,
you should see who we've got next.
Okay.
I'm not telling you, Oscar, after last time. You gave it all away.
Look, it's part and parcel, isn't it? I didn't give it away deliberately. I thought I could genuinely say it. I didn't realise you only said afterwards, I wish you hadn't said that, Oscar, on whilst we were live. But I didn't know. I thought I was doing a good thing. You know?
He plays for one of the teams that one of us four support. There you go. You say that.
I'd laugh if it's Jamie Vardy.
It's not going to be Jamie Vardy.
I'd laugh if it was Jamie Vardy. If you got offered a Jamie Vardy interview.
Listen, I got offered an interview with Jason Manford next week, and it clashes with when Sheffield United are playing on the Wednesday. So I said no.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. It is your club at the end of the day, mate. So we've got predictions in there for Brighton, West Ham. Let's go to the next game. You know what? I'm going to go to you, Hal. Everton, Sheffield United, the late kickoff on Sunday. I mean, Everton, to be fair, at times this season, these are the kind of games they mess up in. I mean, have you got any confidence going into this?
No.
Do you think you'll score in this?
No. My prediction is 3-0 to the Toffees. Last time we played them was the 21st of September 2019 at their place. Last time we played them at Goodison Park. And we won 2-0, and we actually looked very comfortable. Lys Mousset and an own goal from Yerry Mina. It was enough to kind of do the business that day. John Lundstrom was absolutely incredible. He was in the form of his life. But then everything just worked for us last season, and we turned games, even when we weren't playing particularly well, into wins. The Everton game was an example of that. We didn't play particularly well that day, and they never really looked like scoring against us. This time, the floodgates will open as soon as Everton score, and I am just waiting for the season to end. There's a few interesting things towards the end of the season that I thought I should mention. The club have announced that you can get tickets for the final game against Burnley, and they are charging £40 for a team that has 17 points. They should charge £17, a pound for every point we've gained.
That's still a lot. That's still, I'd see him say that's a lot.
40 quid is a disgrace, and because of that, I'm boycotting it, and I'm going to give that money to our NHS frontline workers.
Love that, man. But no, it's the right thing. It's the right thing. That's awful. That I mean, what kind of atmosphere would it be? Do you think on that? Is it Burnley? You say the last game?
Yeah, I'll tell you
it's
what,
not going to be a great atmosphere, is it? If we're being honest.
I put a tweet out a few weeks ago saying I can't wait for our fans, our brilliant fans, to give the team a standing ovation and cheer them because that's the way we always are. I think the club have done a foot shoot now by charging so much when they do not deserve it, that actually it's going to be a sour atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly.
And fans are going to boo people like John Lundstrom. He hasn't experienced the Blades fans since he's demanded this huge pay increase. I think he's going to realise, because he won't know. He's not on social media.
Do you think he might put the suspicious calf maybe on the Saturday night before the game, possibly?
That would be absolutely pathetic, and it would be a litany of pathetic things I've seen in football.
You see it happen. You have seen it happen sometimes when the players can't face the music, and I'm not saying that he should do that. I'm just saying you have seen it happen. Like the agents these days, they advise players to do daft things, but I think it's a shame, isn't it? Sheffield United have done that because, look, I'm not going to say this in a bad way, but that last game, you could have at least celebrated and said, it's our last season, we're back in the ground. It should be a happy time, really. Obviously, it's the last game in the Prem. You're hoping to push back next season, but it kind of starts it on the bad footing, doesn't it, really? It's not a great way. I think they should just let him in for free. I think.
Yeah, they should have done, but they're actually doing a system where you have to have a certain amount of points. So you have to have 45,000 loyalty points. Now, I'm a very loyal fan, and I've got 25,000. So,
how do they calculate that then?
It's how many games you've gone to over the years, and you start with the 45 and then it goes down. I would eventually get down to my 25,000 because no one really has got that many. So it would take like 5 days, and they'd get to mine, and then I'd be able to get a ticket. But as I say, I'm not going to. And instead, I'll do a watch along for fans for free. I don't think the team deserve it with what they've served us this season, the fare that they've served us, which has been absolutely awful, and they should apologise to the fans.
Well, listen, I don't know if you'd back me saying this, but you are, obviously closer to the club than we are in terms of ourselves and Leeds. I mean, is there any kind of like interaction between the fans and the kind of board in terms of this decision?
They used to have a really good fan liaison and a wonderful guy called Mick Rucker. It was just brilliant. I was in Afghanistan actually when we were playing Wickham away. And I was doing my radio show out in Afghanistan, the modern day Vera Lynn that I am, entertaining the troops. And I messaged saying I can't get on the internet. So I phoned back and spoke to Mick. I was like, I can't get on the internet. I can't buy a ticket for Wickham, but I'll be back in the UK the day before that game when I leave Afghanistan. And he got me a ticket and got my wife a ticket and he got my friends a ticket. And it was all on the house as a sort of thank you for going out to Afghanistan. And that's the kind of liaison we used to have. We lost 1-0 to Wickham. But yeah, we used to have a good
that last bit's just the way you said it as well.
Well, that was awful. We don't have any real interaction at the moment, so there was no discussion with the fans about this, and it's really disappointing. One thing I will say that's quite interesting is that Leeds United need 4 points from the last 3 games to match Sheffield United's points total from last season, and I thought it might be quite interesting to throw that out. Do you think Leeds will do that?
If we win all 3 games, we actually break the record for most points from a newly promoted team. Obviously, that's ambitious, saying you're going to win any time you're going to win 3 games in a row in this league. But it is Burnley away, Southampton away, West Brom at home. So it is, I'd like to think we can do the 4 points. I'd like to think we can do that. But look, nothing's a given in this league. And to be honest, I don't want to play it down, but if we lose all 3 games, it's still been a really, really good first season back for us. I don't think we will lose all 3 games, but I'm pretty chilled about it. And I think the team looks chilled out, against Tottenham. Well, obviously, we'll go into that in a second, but I just think, I think when Leeds are relaxed and, not having to worry too much about certain things, I just think we're so much more, better. I think Sheffield United last season, just to bring it back onto you guys, when you established that by like October of last season that you were going to stay up, and the stuff you were playing
wasn't quite that early.
It was early, like the way you started. You raced to 20 points, then you got to 30 points, and then you just absolutely strolled through after that. But I still think around that kind of Christmas time, before kind of lockdown, you were absolutely free flowing at that point in the season.
Yeah, it was lovely. What I want Leeds to finish on exactly the same amount of points as the Blades last season, in exactly the same position, so that none of my Leeds mates have any bragging rights over the first season. The key will be next season, because of course, if Leeds finish with more than 17 points next season, then yes, all Leeds
We'll have
fans
the
that know
bragging
me,
right.
you can have bragging rights.
Go down, but we still have the go down and you go up, but we still have the bragging rights.
That's what I've got. That's what I've got with all my Norwich buddies at the moment. You know, they're all giving it large, but
You got
that could be next season. You know, same thing.
Norwich have fans. Norwich have fans, plural.
I've got a few good mates that are Norwich fans, yeah. And of course, the worst thing was the last game I was able to go to in March was Sheffield United Norwich, and I left that game sending some stupid messages to them along the lines of, "It'll be a long time till we see you in the Premier League again."
And yeah,
Literally, the next game that they will be back at will be a Premier League game, and that won't be the case for me.
never mind. You learn, mate. It's part and parcel. But I mean, locks. Do you give? I do actually give Sheffield United. You know, if they start the game well against Everton, I don't really rate Everton that much, to be honest, this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't rate Sheffield United this season either, to be fair. And I'm not trying to dig either because I love you, Hal, but I'm just saying, I think what I said with the Brighton West Ham one is pretty similar. You know, I know you're probably playing for pride, if you like, Sheffield United, but Everton can, you know, they're fighting for Europa League still, are they? You know, Europa Conference, whatever bloody competitions there are now, and I think that will kind of pull them through a little bit until the end of the season. So, yeah, I'd agree with Hal, to be fair. I think he said 3-0 Everton. I'd go with that as well.
I mean, Corey, what were you going for, mate?
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a high score for Everton. I'm going to go 4-1. I feel that they're going to have a bit between their teeth. I know you're bang on, by the way, in terms of that inconsistency. They're terrible at home. And away, they can just do numbers on people. I think they're unbeaten in London. So they're not
great, though, are they? They're not great. I don't watch Everton and think they're going to like absolutely batter a team, if you know what I mean.
No, I agree. They are that kind of side that they're just. I think they're better without the ball than they are with it. When they've got it, they don't really know what to do. And even though drawing against Villa, they shouldn't really be doing that. But I worry about them next season because we know that they've got money behind them, and I think the top half next season is going to be ridiculously competitive. So I think they'll go again and probably be higher in the table than us, unfortunately.
Well, that's it. You know, you kind of Everton have been quite forgettable for me this season in terms of they started the season really well, but I kind of never really thought of them as being like top 6, top 4. I've just always kind of thought Everton being like kind of 8th in the table. I've always had that picture of Everton being there in the table. They don't seem to have moved at all since like November from there.
We always had someone, didn't we, at school that was on the periphery of the friends and was just always there. And
yeah,
like some days you'd even forget his name, but he was always there. He was never off sick. He never really said anything, never put his hand up to answer a question. Sometimes he'd be picked on by the teacher to answer that question. He'd realise, yeah, okay, he's quite clever. He's not a genius. He's not an idiot. He's just in the middle, and he's always there. And his name might be Dave. That is Everton in the Premier League. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to pull up any trees. They're not going to have a sick day like Middlesbrough, Brian Robson. They're just going to be there.
I don't know who Dave is, but I'm guessing Dave was that person at the school, at your school.
We all had a Dave at school. Do you know what, weirdly? I met a couple the other day who've called their baby Dave, not David.
Oh, actually, Dave.
The kid is called Dave. Can you imagine calling a baby Dave? The kid's like 3 months old.
The kid's 40 before he's 1.
Yeah. It's an old
the kid's got a beard before he's like...
It's like the royal family, you remember the baby David. David's a nice name for a kid, but Dave, it doesn't work for a baby.
The baby's actually called...
Yeah. It's like certain names don't work for babies. Trev doesn't work for a baby.
There's nothing wrong with the name David, but it's just the fact.
No, absolutely. I like the name David, but you're calling a baby Dave.
Dave.
Put in the comments names that don't work for babies.
Gary.
The name Gary is dying out. Phil.
Well, my dad is called Gary. To be fair, his actual real name's Gary. So, but yeah, it is a disappearing name.
It's a disappearing name, and he's not a baby. Your dad. That's crucial.
That's true. Any other names? Nigel gets a vote.
Nigel's
Bob,
good, yeah.
Bob,
Derek definitely.
Tarquin.
Bob.
Oh, there's a Dave in the chat. Or
Yeah,
David.
but he
He's
won't
down
be
as David.
Listen, Alf.
It won't be christened, Dave. Torquil. That's a weird name for a baby.
Tarquin.
Sounds like a
Tarquin. Tarquin.
Bernard.
Kenneth is Bernard.
Keith.
Yeah, for a baby.
Have you seen baby Bernard?
Keith.
Rodney.
Oh,
Rodney.
Keith.
That'd
Keith
be
is your name.
cool.
Keith's the name of a next door neighbour that's like really friendly, and if you break up a pot, he comes around and helps out. It's not the name of a 3-month-old. Arthur.
Colin.
That name, the poor thing. It's one of my best mates, Colin's birthday today, and the poor bloke. The name Colin is now always associated with Neil Warnock, and there's nothing you can do about
There's
it.
nothing you can do. As soon as you say Colin to me, it's the first thing you think of. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It is.
Fun fact: Neil Warnock has no eyebrows.
Yeah. That's hardly a fun fact. I think anyone's ever seen Neil Warnock. It's not like a groundbreaking fact, is it?
But I didn't say. I said fun. If I'd said groundbreaking fact, you'd have had a perfectly good point.
Yeah, but it's hardly a fun. I don't know.
Not everyone knows facts. There'll be people there that go, "Oh, do you know what? I didn't realize." Google Neil Warnock.
They didn't realise.
There'll be people that didn't realise he's got no eyebrow. Your casual fan, Oscar, isn't really going to know the eyebrow situation of every EFL manager.
But Neil Warnock's a bit different, isn't he? He's like, everyone knows who Warnock is.
Neil Warnock's a bit different, isn't he? That's what he should have on his autobiography or his tombstone. Whichever
bit
comes
different,
first.
isn't he? Anyway. Right, so, I mean, look, I've even mentioned Warnock next season for Sheffield United if that was a possibility. I don't know, obviously you said probably not, but what percentage would you say right now, in terms of confidence, that Sheffield United bounce back up next season? What percentage would you give it? Bouncing back, as Partridge would say. How confident are you you're going to do it? Are you going to do it, Norwich?
Well, if we still had Chris Wilder, I would be 90% confident because we haven't appointed a manager yet and we don't know who it's going to be. And the rumours are now swaying more to Jokanovic and a little bit of Blessing. I think if we appoint Blessing, this is my Blessing hand, then I am 75%.
Does he get your blessing?
Yes, he gets my blessing. I am 75% confident that we go straight back up. And if we get Jokanovic, I'm 65%.
But Jokanovic has done 2 promotions, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I agree, and he's got the better CV. But
why are you less confident?
I'm all in on Blessing because we did a video on our channel where we kind of compared the two and studied them and the way they play football and what they've done. And even though Blessing's had less time, what he has done has been really impressive. And Jokanovic, the thing that worries me about him, he never stays anywhere for more than 2 seasons. His entire career, he goes, he gets fed up or he's sacked. Whereas Blessing has proven when he was in the Red Bull system, he's got that longevity. You know, he's like 5 years under Nagelsmann. And I think that's really exciting that he's learned under one of the most exciting young coaches himself. And apparently they're really similar. And loads of people that know Blessing are comparing him with Nagelsmann and Klopp. Well, no one's comparing Jokanovic with those. We know exactly what we'd get with Jokanovic.
Promotion.
But it's possible that Blessing could be the next great manager. Whereas we know exactly that Jokanovic is a good manager. Do you see why?
Yeah, but it's your first season. If I'm just playing devil's advocate, I totally get what you're saying. In terms of Blessing's the more exciting one. It's the more of the hipsters kind of choice in that kind of sense, if that's the right word for it. But with Jokanovic, if it's your first season back, and I think a lot of players will stay on at Sheffield United. I think that a lot of them will find it tough to move on because their kind of stocks dropped quite a bit from last season in that kind of sense. You know, you like your John Egans and that lot. Maybe their stocks dropped a little bit. Your John Egans.
Your Burgers.
Your Chris
your
Mashans.
McGoldricks. Your Billy Sharps.
Don't even get me started on McBurnie. I mean...
Your McBurnies. Ollie McBurnie, pal. All right,
let me ask you about... Okay, all right. I'll go on to him in a second. But surely, in your first season back...
I've said what I've said.
Would you not go with your safest? It's just purely, you know, just
I'm more
devil's
excited
advocate.
by the unknown of Blessing than the known of Jokanovic. That's just me. I bet most blades will disagree with me, but that's fine. I'm a
Sounds
I'm a
popular.
contrarian. Well, whose is that?
Anyway, right, that's done. That's done.
What do you mean that's done? Is that a feature of the show? Oh, sorry, we've got. It's 30 minutes exactly. Let's have our musical interlude. Right, that's done. It's like in
Anyway.
baseball where they have the 7th inning stretch and everyone stands and sings "God Bless America." Can we do that?
Do they?
So we sing "God Bless Leeds United."
Yeah, if you want to.
I'm not going to join you, no, but you can.
Oh, just me, because I'm pretty sure Locks and Corey won't either. Although Corey might. Corey is.
Oh, God.
Hey, got it in
Rest.
there. Got it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Hal, talk to me about McBurnie. I mean, he's
Well,
not
there's
helping
no-
himself, is he?
It's it's an ongoing investigation with the police, so I don't want to prejudice an ongoing investigation. by
Hal, you
giving
literally
my
see him
opinion.
stamp on the phone.
Oh, a stamp on a phone. Well, if the phone presses charges, then I guess they'd be in trouble.
The person had the phone in their hand, and then it was on the floor, and it got
People
stamped
drop
on.
phones, Oscar. It happens all the time. I drop my phone down the toilet. It happens. I'm not
true.
blaming Ollie McBurnie for that.
I can't believe you defended him.
I'm not defending him. I'm not defending
Okay.
anyone. I'm stating a fact. People drop
Okay.
phones. This lad
Okay.
dropped his phone. Ollie McBurnie may or may not have stood on the phone accidentally when trying to escape rather than escalate a situation. His foot slipped. It appeared to stand on the phone. Who knows?
Okay. Corey, your feelings on McBurnie?
He's awful, isn't he? He's a
Yeah.
terrible Premier
That
League.
was what
I'm
I
not
was
even-
after.
Yeah. He should just be
He's
chuffed for
awful.
being an awful striker, to be honest. I mean, I'm not really sure what he offers, but that's interesting for me. How do you reckon McBurnie does it in the Championship? I know he's done it before at Swansea, but do you think he can recoup? Do you think your strikers in general can recoup, or are you going to have to bring someone in?
I think we will bring someone in, but yeah, they can do it. They've all done it. Billy Sharp has done it in the Champ. McGoldrick's done it in the Champ. Brewster, goal every other game.
I think
Brewster's the
Brewster
big
does
one.
it. I think Brewster does a Tony for what Tony's done at Brentford. I just think he explodes next season for Sheffield United.
Ivan, that's another weird name for a kid. I would say that McBurnie will now be really wanting to prove people wrong because his reputation's been kind of dragged through the mud. Admittedly, he doesn't help himself. Yes.
Does he want it though? Do you think he's really focused? I'd never get that impression with it, Bernie. I think he's really talented. He's talented. We've seen it against Leeds. He's a good player. We saw it for Swansea, but I don't get the impression for Scotland as well. He's not really took that very seriously either. His chance to play for Scotland. Has he though?
He's not played well. That doesn't mean he hasn't taken it
seriously.
but
he's
put me in a
pulled
Scotland
out the
shirt,
team.
I'd
He's
give him.
pulled out the team a couple of times. He's done little bits and pieces. Drink driving in Leeds, whatever it is.
All right,
I don't know.
Is he bring these things up? Poor bloke's not here to defend himself. I would say that put me in a Scotland shirt. I was born in Scotland. I would give my all, but I'm not good enough. That doesn't mean I'm not trying. I think he's trying, and he's just not good enough for the national team of Scotland yet. I think he'll get there. I think it's the same for the Premier League. He's just not quite there yet.
Okay. Wow. I was slightly jealous of Richard. Ciao from Milan. Wow. That's not a bad place to be this time of year. Well, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on from Sheffield United a second. You know what? I'm going to go into the cup final. Let's talk about it. Chelsea versus Leicester. Locks, you said another appalling thing off air. That you'd rather finish in the top four than win the FA Cup. Now, me and Hal and Corey and Joe and Elena, we all thought we helped you see the past year of your ways last time. But you came back on here again and you said the same thing. Why? Why would you rather not win the trophy and have that memory of winning at Wembley than finishing in the top four?
Long-term goals. Finishing in the top four is better for the club financially. The players that we can bring in, if we qualify for the Champions League, we can build a team who can win the FA Cup next year. So, I think finishing outside the top four this year would be like a massive blow to even the fans, of course, after what happened last season, after we dropped out, and then the players, because when you look at these players, Tielemans, Wilfred Ndidi, like Ricardo Pereira and Fofana, the new lad Fofana and Soyuncu. If your teams in the top four would pay money for these players, like any team in the Premier League would take Yuri Tillemans, I believe, and Wilfred Ndidi. I think any team in the Premier League would take them. I'm not saying start every week, but they would take
Most
them.
of your players. I mean, Maddison. I think Ian Acho in the form he's in. I think most people take all your players, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we spoke about before. We mentioned Lingard as an example in the past, but like even if you look at our players, you're saying if Tillemans, let's say Manchester United come in for Tillemans in the summer. Obviously, there's no doubt about it that there's more chance of him staying at Leicester if we get top 4. I just think if we lose that again so close to the last game, and it probably would be the last day of the season where it happened, if we did miss out, it's just going to be a massive blow. And I think for the long-term goals of the club, I think we have to finish top 4. And the point I made was because there's been questions going around: would you rather finish top 4 or win the FA Cup? And yeah, for me, it's top 4 over FA Cup. I understand, the magic of the FA Cup and all that, and I know it's dying out a little bit in terms of, a lot of fans kind of don't really see it as a big thing, but I still do. I still do see it as a big thing. A lot of Leicester fans do because, we hold the record most finals without a win. So this will be our 5th FA Cup final, no FA Cup trophy. So it'd be massive if we finally do it. But yeah, just going back to your question or your point, for me, mate, no brainer, top 4 over FA Cup any day of the week.
But you don't think like the whole era under Rodgers, in terms of like under Ranieri, obviously, short term it was absolutely unbelievable because you won the title and it was just like wow kind of thing in that kind of sense. Obviously, the season after, it kind of just wasn't the same. You obviously lost Kante. I mean, would you not just rather have that trophy? In terms of
No.
You go into Europe, but what are you going to do? No disrespect, but what would you do in Europe, like in the Champions League? What would Leicester's peak be in the Champions League?
Winning it.
Yeah. You're going to win it though, mate.
You're not going to win it, though, are you?
Not next season. Not next season. No, not next season. Not next season. I don't think we'll win the Champions League next season. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying long term, we want to be a top 4 team every season. That's what we want to be. That's what Leicester City want to be. Obviously, it's going to be difficult, but if I said we'd win the Premier League, 6-7 years ago, you'd say get out of here. But it's what the club want. It's what the owners want. They want to qualify for the Champions League every season. I mean, we're in the Europa League this year, mate, and it was an absolute piss take. It was just. We just didn't take it seriously. I don't think the fans even took it seriously. Our focus was on finishing in the Champions League. We rested players against Prague in the round of 16 so that we could have them fully fit for like West Brom the Monday after.
Yeah, but if you'd have won the Europa League, which I think was doable for Leicester, you're looking at the final, Man United Villarreal. I think that was doable for Leicester. I mean, has that not made it a bit more? It's put the pressure on in two senses that Rodgers is completely throwing the Europa League. The players are completely throwing the Europa League. And now all of a sudden they're making it tough to make the top 4. The pressure is, because that's going to get looked back on. That will 100%, that Prague game will get replayed time and time again if you miss out again. So surely.
But then if we do finish top 4, you could say that it's probably helped us
of course.
coming out of Europe. We've had a couple extra games because of the FA Cup, going to the final of that. And I mean, we play on Saturday, we play tomorrow, obviously, and then we've got Chelsea again on Tuesday. And if we win that, it's pretty much, it's not mathematically, but it's pretty much guaranteed. We're pretty much confirmed for top 4 if we beat Chelsea on Tuesday. So, yeah, I mean, the fan base is split. From what I've seen on social media, there's a big fan. I mean, it tends to be the older fans would rather an FA Cup over Champions League. But yeah, I think it's just in terms of the long-term side of things, mate. I think, you've got Chelsea, Man United, Man City, even Arsenal, Tottenham, for years to come, who are going to obviously all be fighting for that top 4. And it's going to be in Liverpool, and it's going to be difficult, obviously, for Leicester to finish here every year. But we have more of a chance if we finish top 4 this year, and we can bring in better players than we would if we finished, outside of top 4. And I know Leicester's kind of mantra is to sign these underdogs and type of things, but we do sign a key player, like a marquee signing every now and then. Like Yuri Tillemans was a marquee signing. That was an absolutely quality signing. Ricardo Pereira, a couple of years before, playing at Porto, that was a big signing for Leicester. And I think if we want to continue that, we want to continue to grow. And the main thing, keep these players, Maddison, Yuri Tillemans, Wilfred Ndidi. For me, I think top 4 is the only way we can keep them players, because I think if we start finishing outside the top 4 every year, they're going. They're not staying around for too long. They've given us a few years, but they'll be gone.
Go on then, Hal. I'll ask you the question, Hal, okay? Sheffield United, top 4, an FA Cup win. What would you take right now?
We've won the FA Cup 4 times, never in my lifetime. And I would say, make it 5, baby.
You don't care about the top 4 in the context of the FA Cup?
Got to be the FA Cup, because if you're a traditionalist and you're a proper, no offense, Locks, but I think there's like a, I was going to say something and I'm reeling it in. I think there is all right, if you're a proper football fan, but I think you are. That's why I was kind of reeling it in. You do really know your stuff. So you are a proper football fan. But I feel like when I was growing up, the FA Cup final, the day, and by the way, the FA Cup should be at the end of the season when everything else is finished throughout the entire pyramid of the football calendar, not when it is, and not at 5:15. It should be a 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff at the end of the season, the final curtain closer. And for me, when I was growing up, it was the biggest day. It was on the telly from like the start of the morning right throughout. And to win the FA Cup was an incredible achievement that everyone would then talk about during the long, hot summer. And I know we'll have the Euros this year, so there will be stuff to take our minds off it. But the FA Cup is the FA Cup, and it was the greatest cup competition domestically on earth throughout the world. Other nations revered it, and they didn't really care who finished 4th.
But the Champions League is the biggest competition in the world, right? It's the biggest. It
is now.
But Locks, what I'm saying to you is that I know what you're saying in terms of like the long-term ambition, but surely that long-term ambition, there's got to be an ambition of a trophy somewhere along the lines. I mean, isn't this your best chance of the trophy, the FA Cup? You know, realistically, can Leicester compete season on season with a PSG, City and Bayern in terms of the money they've got in the Champions League? And so when you're talking these big hitters, can that happen?
Leicester's aim is to be a top club in England for the foreseeable future, to finish.
Yeah, but top clubs win trophies. They don't just finish in the top 4. They win trophies.
No, I understand that, but surely you agree with me when I'm saying that we've got a better chance of building a side that can compete at the top level year on year on year if we get Champions League football.
I think with Locks, with Leicester, the difference is that, like you touched on, the type of clubs that you're competing against: Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, all these clubs with a lot of money. They need that Champions League. So for West Ham, I would love it, but I've always said, as a fan, getting a trophy and a day out would be better. But I can sympathise a little bit with what you're saying, because you are still punching above your weight, and for you to go to that next level, you are going to need that consistently.
Yeah, I totally agree with Corey. I mean, 2 years or 3 years before we won the Premier League, our owner put a statement out, saying that we want to be in the top 5 of English football within 5 years. And obviously we won the league. We won the Premier League in 2016. And, the 3 years after that, 3-4 years, it obviously wasn't as good, mid-table, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, around there. But like now we have, I know what you're saying. This is Leicester's best opportunity to win a trophy. Of course it is, because we're in the final. We're one game away from winning the FA Cup trophy. But it's also our best opportunity to build on our team, to build on where we are now and maintain this level at the top.
But it's your second, because this is like another season though, where you have been up there for hours. I mean, you're showing you can do that
that's worth
already,
isn't it? That how Leicester keep competing.
Yeah, I think Leicester do it again next season if they keep Rodgers.
Well. Locks, if Sheffield United won the FA Cup tomorrow, if we were in it, I don't know about you, I would cry, and I would not be ashamed of that. Are you feeling that excited on the eve that if Leicester beat Chelsea, this is going to be a huge moment in your life?
Are you talking about tomorrow? The FA Cup final. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about.
I'm not saying I don't want to win the FA Cup. I want both. I want both, but the question was, what would I rather? I would rather Champions League.
Okay, I
football,
know.
to be fair,
We know your answer to that. So I'm asking you, how excited are you? Because you don't sound
Absolutely,
Yeah.
No, I am.
so
No, I am.
excited.
Not
at
an
all.
FA Cup final. Oh,
It's more like it's a hassle. You've got to get
Champions
through.
League ambition.
Got to travel up to London.
Oh,
Got to go up
God,
to
he's got
London.
play Chelsea. Oh.
No, I'll be over the moon. Obviously, all of us would be if we win the FA Cup tomorrow. It's a massive game in the history of the club. As I've said, we've never won it. We've been that far 4 times now. But
what excites you more? Right.
Yeah, without using the cliches, and I'll be over the moon. What will you do? What will you do? Tell me. I'm not getting it from you.
Here's a quick question. Okay, what excites you more? Kelechi Iheanacho, rattling one in off from about 40 yards out, like Gerrard in the cup final against West Ham. Sorry, Corey. Sorry about that, mate.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that
man.
one in,
Sorry, I had to get that one in there. But that in like the 90+ third minute to beat Chelsea and lift the cup, or him doing the exact same thing to seal the top 4. The cup just sounds so much sexier in terms of like Hollywood stories kind of thing.
Yeah, it does. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I would be much more excited if the first thing happened there, if Nacho scored a late goal to win the FA Cup trophy. Don't get me wrong. Tomorrow, if I'm watching our team lift the trophy, like Hal said, yeah, I will be in tears. The last time I cried of happiness was when we won the league in 2016.
That's what I want to hear, Lux. Good man.
But like lifting a trophy, any trophy, don't care if it's a League One trophy like it
Send
was
us
in
a video,
2009.
Lux. I want a video in the WhatsApp group of you.
Wailing.
I'm so happy.
But no, look, whether it's League One, Championship, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Community Shield. If you've got silverware, it's massive, and obviously.
But you said it yourself now. You're saying it yourself. Yes. You're talking yourself into this.
He's talking himself into.
No, I'm not talking. No, I'd still rather Champions League. I'd still rather Champions League.
Go on, Locks.
They call him FA Cup Locks. That's his name.
Locks, if you bottle top 4 and you win the FA Cup, do you think that's not a successful season? Just say you finish 5th, still relatively.
This is why the FA Cup should be at the end of the season. So Locks, if they'd already sold,
he would know. Exactly.
He would then be all in on the cup. At the moment, I can say you're slightly like.
That's probably
okay. Yeah, I think that's true. That's it. We've sussed it.
Yeah, I think Hal's right. Yeah, because obviously now it's just like no matter what happens tomorrow, we've still got 2 games. Chelsea,
and you don't want to
Tottenham.
get any serious injuries, would you? In this cup final because you've still got these crucial games to come. It's totally wrong having the cup. When
it's ridiculous. It doesn't often. They don't do it often, do they? It should just be end of season, last game, like the playoffs and all that lot. Playoffs, FA Cup, Champions League, whatever, all at the end of the season.
The radio station I work for are going all in on the cup final. I'm on air tomorrow from 12 p.m. and we're wrapping up our coverage at the full time of the FA Cup final. So we're starting
That's good
the
to
FA
hear,
Cup
though.
build-up at noon. So if anyone wants to get half an hour of me before Leeds, which I'll accept, obviously Leeds are on, I am getting some Leeds super fans on and previewing the Leeds United game as well as the cup final.
Okay, good stuff. But let's talk about the game itself. I mean, we just interrogated Locks there for about 15 minutes, but I've got a funny feeling on Leicester tomorrow. I still think Chelsea are the favourites, but I'm a bit less sure than maybe what I was before that Arsenal game. I think Chelsea. The one thing I say about Chelsea Corey, is they don't score a lot of goals considering how much they create. They are a very wasteful team, and I just think Iheanacho, Vardy, Maddison, Leicester could catch them cold here. I really do think that it could happen. I hope it does. I really do, to be honest.
I'm the same, mate. Nothing would be worse than seeing Chelsea lift that FA Cup, to be honest.
When Arsenal did it last year.
They probably thank Frank Lampard for building the foundations of that magnificent cup win as well while they're at it.
The relief when Arsenal did it in that cup final last year. The relief.
Can I just shout out LUFC 10's comment, Oscar, because it really got me, and it's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with that. There's nothing.
Memories, isn't it? Yeah.
In terms of a trophy, in terms of if Leeds finished in the top 4, would I celebrate as heavily? I'd still be absolutely buzzing with it, but would I celebrate it as heavily as what I did they're getting out of the Championship after 16 years.
I suppose like a slow
Probably
slog.
not.
It's different, isn't it, to a one-off game as well?
It's
When that
one-off.
one-off game, you've got that full-time whistle blows, and you literally can just, in that moment,
You've got a
it's
trophy.
It's euphoria. But kind of the end of a long, prolonged season, it's like, oh, brilliant, we kind of saw this coming. But the FA Cup final, it's like instant success.
I mean, how confident are you, Locks, tomorrow? I mean, Duncan makes a good point. Your record in finals isn't great, to say the least. But I don't know. Rodgers has won a fair bit of silverware in his time, to be fair to him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of confident. I don't want to make myself sound even less excited as I have done in the past 10 minutes. But yeah, I think like he said, like Duncan said, we've got a terrible record in finals, but then again, we've got a brilliant record against the top 6 teams. Chelsea we've already beaten this season. Lampard's last game, or I think it was, and beating teams like Man City, Man United, the other day, and we've beaten these top teams, so we can do it again in a one-off game. I just think Leicester have to show up like 100%. I think Leicester, if they show up at 99%, I think Chelsea have got us. I think we have to show up 100%, every single player. There's been too many games this season for Leicester, despite still being, I think, third. We're third now. Despite being third, there's been a few too many games this season where we haven't quite shown up. And luckily, we've kind of got away with it in some of them against the kind of lesser teams. But Chelsea, Tuchel's Chelsea, it's not going to be like that. If we don't turn up 100%, they're going to have us. And Ben Chilwell today has had an interview out, saying that I don't know if any of you have seen it.
I've heard something about this.
When they lost to Leicester, it was the lowest point of the season for him, and there's not a game he's ever wanted to win more in his whole career than tomorrow against Leicester. And
but you would though, because if he lost that, it's the biggest L you can possibly take, isn't it? He's lost the cup final and to the team he left for.
I don't know. I just think he's a little bit bitter that we're actually a better team without him, to be fair. And we're now still above them.
A bit of that. Also, though, I wouldn't cite winning at Old Trafford. That's anyone can do that.
But he also came out the other day and said that he was still at Leicester like in February or March, and he was speaking to some of the Leicester lads about the prospect of playing with Thiago Silva at Chelsea, like when he was still a Leicester player in like months before, because the rumours were coming out about Silva to Chelsea. And apparently he was saying to his Leicester mates, how amazing would it be if I get to go and play with Thiago Silva at Chelsea and all this. And he's always been a bit of a melt, to be fair, Chilwell. He's always got a lot of stick. I was waiting for
it to step up in there.
You hate players that leave Leicester, Locks.
No, I don't.
I don't. Before.
Big H.
No, I don't hate Maguire. I don't hate Maguire.
You've not said nice things about him in the past because I've had to stick up for him.
Kante, not got a bad thing to say about Kante.
You can't say that.
Come on.
Can you?
No one hates
Kante could score a 40-yarder pass, and you just can't be mad at you can't be mad at Kante, can you?
Let go.
I want to shout out Nicholas Griffin's comment about every schoolboy plays at FA Cup final in the park. There's no time when I'm playing football with my nephews when they go, right, let's play Battle for Fourth.
That seals the top 4 for another season. He sealed it. It's the Champions. They're going to get battered by Bayern Munich and battered by PSG, but he sealed it for another season as Hal Stewart. Is that what it was like?
Never. No one has ever played that game, and no one ever will. And if they do, they should be banned from going to a football game.
But no, my final say on Ben Chilwell, if you don't know, I really don't like him. Not many Leicester fans do like him now, especially after the past couple of days. This is the same bloke that he actually we played Millwall in the cup about 3 years ago in the FA Cup, and he had to actually ask somebody else to take the throw-in for him because he was too scared of the Millwall fans. This is a true story. So yeah, really, I'm 40% confident for tomorrow. But the most important thing for me would be to see Ben Chilwell, crying, walking down the tunnel, regretting that he did leave Leicester again. But yeah, he's a melt. So
if he scores, would he celebrate?
Yeah, he will, because he's a knob. Yeah, he's a knob. He will celebrate. Yeah, he will celebrate. He will,
Is
100%.
it now that I announce that the next guest I've got on is Ben Chilwell, and I'll just
Right
pass
now.
on your best wishes, Locks. I maybe play him
Ben
all of this
Chilwell.
actually.
But anyway, this isn't a.
It's not, is it?
Yeah, we're not talking.
No, it's not
Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell. Well, that would be the best way to get Locks back. After
Oh,
tagging
man.
that nonsense tweet earlier.
Oh, dear me. But
I
Jordan
did meet him
Dix-
once, actually. I met him
And I
at a
bet he was-
shopping centre.
Fine.
And he was
I bet he was
really
dead
rude.
sound.
No, he was rude. He was rude. He
What did he
was.
say?
It wasn't at a
loves
shop.
himself, doesn't he? Absolutely.
Oh,
loves
it wasn't at the
himself,
shopping
Chilwell.
centre. It was at the airport. It was at East Midlands Airport, and they were
Oh,
going
the
on a
story's
pre-season
changing
tour.
now.
No, it was, and Mahrez was also very rude, and him and Chilwell were walking together. But yeah, all of them were sound.
It's always the
Them
ex
two-
players, isn't it, who were really rude.
Funny that.
That's the vibe we get it.
Lovely. He
Don't
bought
Yeah,
talk to me
I've
about
had-
Mahrez. Don't
Vardy
talk
was
to me about
lovely.
him.
He bought me some duty free.
Don't talk to me about Mahrez, seriously.
That is a
Snake.
sore subject with. That is a very sore subject with. But Locks, these players have done a lot for the club.
Yeah,
And Mahrez,
yeah,
he's
but-
won your title.
So leave and be respectful. That's all you need to do. Just leave the club, be respectful, and it's done. No one's having a go at you anymore. We'll get over it. You get over it. You get on with your new life at your new big flashy club.
What's
Playing
he done?
Champions League
What's he done
football.
that's so bad?
Mahrez, he went on strike for 3 weeks because we didn't sell him in the January. And then when we did sell him, he said that Leicester wasted 2 years of his career.
Did you not think you
He's-
should have
he's
owned him
also-
to just let? Well, why didn't you let him go? Like you just let Kante go in the summer, but you did keep him for quite a while, Morris.
Yeah,
and he was itching.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was all right for about 6 months when his pal from Algeria came over, Islam Slimani. He was fine with that. But then Slimani dropped out of the team because he was rubbish. And Mahrez then started kicking up a fuss. And I mean, Man City were bidding like 30 million at first for Mahrez. Can't let Mahrez go for 30 million. So that's why he stayed. He went on strike and then he blamed us for wasting 2 years of his career. But, he might
Well
have a Champions League
spotted.
final.
Well
next year.
spotted.
I could tell.
Yeah. Algeria, or as we call it on this show, Halgeria. Pop in the comments. Rude footballers you've met.
Well, look, obviously, I'm really looking forward to the game, to be honest. I think it's probably the most exciting cup final I can think of in a while in terms of two really good teams going into it. But, Corey, how do you see this one going, mate? I can see it going to extra time, to be honest.
Oh, don't say that.
Why not?
Don't
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
long afternoon for Hal, isn't it?
Long
Yeah.
afternoon. Extra time, then penalties. It'll be at
Let it in.
13-12 on penalties.
God, can
The
you
goal-
imagine if Chilwell scored the winning penalty? You wouldn't see Locks for weeks if he'd done.
Nah, I'm gone.
And does this. And does this in front
Yeah,
of
and he goes up and he kisses the Chelsea badge. That
He's
would
there
You know, if that
holding the
happens-
trophy.
You've got a t-shirt underneath saying that's for you, Locks.
be. Yeah.
I know what
Picture of
these. I
Locks
know what
on it.
these Leeds. I know what these Leeds fans are like. This is getting. If it happens, it's getting clipped up. And
No,
I'm-
believe you me,
I'm
mate.
just-
We want Leicester winning this. We seriously
I know.
want Leicester to win this game.
Yeah, and I know what these Leeds fans are like, and they're brilliant.
There you go. Hal.
No, I think I think it's going to be really tough for Leicester. Like Chelsea, Locks touched on it. How you've got to be 100% to beat them. And when we played them, it was just like playing like the perfect team. They have a massive wobble midweek. I think they'll be well up for it. Kante will be in there running things. I think Chelsea will pinch it. I think it will be 1-0. It'll be really disappointing. And don't get me wrong, I think Leicester will go for it. I think they'll throw everything at them, but I think it'll be too much for them. Chelsea are just a little bit too good.
What are you thinking, Hal?
Can I just shock you? I think Leicester are going to win.
I love that.
I think Chelsea are going to play the better game. I think it's going to be like one of those Football Manager games where they have 15 shots and Leicester have 2. But Leicester are going to be clinical, and Locks is going to be mildly happy, and then he'll concentrate on the league.
And they'll lose to Chelsea in the league.
He might crack a smile if they win it.
Yeah, Leicester to win the cup and then lose all the rest of their games in the Premier League and miss out.
But what would you class that? I mean, if you were offered that now, Locks, you
We've
wouldn't.
covered this, Oscar.
I know. But I just can't believe it. I can't believe
It's
it would
4
take the
minutes
top
past
4
9.
over the trophy. I know.
Successful. The answer to that is a successful season. FA Cup.
Okay,
finished
that's
fifth.
all right. That's all right. That's
Successful.
fine. Good. That was what we're after. That's what we're after. But go on then, Lops, give us a
Oscar,
prediction.
if I'm on air tomorrow from like 12 till 8, I'm going to need you because you just keep making things easier to draw out. And if I've got 8 hours to fill, I just need you to keep asking questions. It'll go like that.
I take it you want us to come off air in a second, mate.
No, I didn't say that.
Get that vibe. Getting that vibe. You can always you always know when it hits 9 o'clock because this is what Hal does.
I say to my wife, 8 till 9. That's all I need, and it's never 8 till 9. We start late, we finish later.
Right. Okay. Fine. I get the message, Hal. Prediction very quickly, Locks. Chelsea, Leicester.
2-1. 2-1 Leicester. Chelsea to score first, Leicester to come from behind.
I'm going to back Leicester in extra time, 2-1 as well. Go on, Leicester, please, because I just can't be doing with the Frank Lampard built the foundations and all this lot.
Dave.
I cannot be doing that.
Can you imagine?
You cannot imagine. Imagine what Wayman's like. Wayman can't sleep tonight. He's that worried about it. He's that worried about Chelsea winning this game.
I bet Fat Frank would turn up at the FA Cup final and all with his hands.
Oh yeah, him and John Terry. Did he
Drogba? All the lads back together.
Ashley Cole turns up and all that.
John Terry in full kit.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
There's a quality question there from Jordan Dix. Ben Chilwell scoring an own goal to hand Leicester the FA Cup or top 4.
There you go. Come on.
FA Cup.
Okay,
yeah,
then
all
it's
day
the
long.
FA Cup. Yeah, embrace the hate, Locks. I'll go 1-0 Leicester.
Could I even change that and say, would you take that happening, but Mahrez also scores the winner in the Champions League final?
We're not in the Champions League final.
Yeah, but you see Mahrez being happy. You don't seem to like that. You don't seem to like that very much. You don't seem to like
him.
I
don't, but I don't care. I'm not,
right, let's
I'm
move
not
on. I've done too many hypotheticals. Burnley versus Leeds. We'll finish it here, guys. Burnley versus Leeds. What are we expecting in this game? I'll go to you first, Corey.
I reckon you'll win. I was very buzzing to see you smash Tottenham about the place. It was absolutely lovely to see. Well done, lads. I think you'll beat Burnley. To be fair to Burnley, they are trying to play a bit of football, if I'm honest. Yeah. I think Chris Wood's in a decent bit of form as well. I'll tell you what, I would actually try and take Chris Wood at West Ham. If we could get him on a certain deal, I'd definitely...
It'd be a good signing, that.
I think he's massively underrated. He churns out numbers. He works hard. He's good in the air. Like, he's quite a sound player. I think you'll beat them. I know you've had injuries. I know, obviously, KP and Rafinha are out. I'm not sure whether they'll be back in or not. But I imagine if they do come in, you'll beat them 3-1. I'm going to go for in this one.
He's consistent, though, isn't he, Chris Wood? He's consistently hit 10 or more goals for his all 4 seasons at Burnley, which is no mean feat. No mean feat at all. Hal, what are you expecting here?
Were you a big fan of Chris when he was at Leeds?
I liked him. I really liked him. I was absolutely gutted when Chris Wood left because I knew we'd struggle to replace him, and we did replace him with Pierre-Michel Lasogga, who
should have been good.
Well, he wasn't. He should have been, could have been, but wasn't good.
You ever heard Chris Wood speak?
Yeah, it's
It's strange, isn't it? You don't imagine it sort of, yes, all right, yes, no, I'd like to score that goal. I'll do that over. I'll maybe take it down on the chest and fire it into the back of the net. It's going to be great. You just don't imagine him speaking like that, but he sort of does.
No, I really liked Big Chris Woods. Probably in terms of like consistency and being prolific, he was that for us, to be fair. 1 and 2 consistently, but if he celebrates tomorrow there, but he probably would celebrate, to be fair. It's been like 4 years since he left us. But look, as long as we win the game, I don't really care. But what are you saying, Hal?
Well, Burnley, tough side, aren't they? You know, they aren't a bad team and they do grind out results. I'm not doing a Dyche impression, and I am going to say 1 apiece.
Is that your new saying, that Burnley, tough place to go, or...?
Yeah, it's the money saying, and that was a South African accent. I was trying to do New Zealand.
Trying to suss it out.
But
so it's up there with...
a trigger word.
It's up there with Rafinha. He's good, isn't he? And Arsenal. The problem with Arsenal is they always try and walk the ball into the back of the net. It's been a while since you used that. It's been a while since you used that one.
Trouble with Arsenal. Yeah, that's not mine. That's from the IT crowd. But
I know. But
Rafinha is good, isn't he? That is mine. Get it on a
yours.
T-shirt. Sell it 75% this way. Thank you. It'll help offset the loss I'm making from the books.
Drop promote it again.
Yeah, all hollow. Please buy a copy. Otherwise, I'm going to have hundreds of copies in my garage. Pulped. You can get it on Amazon. If you want it direct from me, at DJ Hal Stewart, drop me a direct message. I'll give you a signed copy.
Okay. Yeah, check it out, guys. Check it out.
Chris Wood.
I know it's South African in that lot, but I don't know if you've ever seen the Alan Partridge episode when the South African fella turns up and Alan Partridge starts just going like...
that's what I sounded like. I sounded like that guy, didn't I?
It's a classic.
I'm going to be serious with you now, Alan.
And they're on the table, if it's a door, and that, like, he lifts the thing up and you just see the door handle. Anyway. Locks, what you say, mate? Burnley, Leeds.
Yeah, mate, it was quality seeing you guys beat Tottenham the other day. It was lovely, wasn't it, Corey?
I love how you hate Tottenham as much as I do, and there's no derby there. You just hate them, and that's what
all we've done for you this season for Leicester and West Ham is do you favours. That's all we've done for you this season. We've done you so many favours.
Top guys.
But you've still not done it. You're still. Oh, come on, mate. You know, we beat you, but we couldn't have done you many more favours. We held Chelsea, we held Liverpool, we held Man United, we beat City, and you can't even get yourselves in the top four. How much more help do you need?
We're in the top four. Oh, you mean Corey? All right.
Yeah, we gave it everything we had. We don't have a team. We're falling apart. But yeah, cheers. No, it was funny. Like, I don't know, like, with the Eric Dyer bit of defending as well for the Leeds game. He's like playing statues, isn't he? Can you imagine him at the Euros?
we won't have to imagine. He'll probably start at the Euros. Oh, John Stones on the bench, Eric Dyer in, most likely.
Oh god, yeah, don't bear thinking.
I see Tottenham fans tweeting, and it's like Mourinho's still in charge because it's all his fault, isn't it? So, but Brian Mason, I've heard Zidane maybe as well coming. Oh, God knows, but
what's
he'll be
play
gone
for
in a year or two.
Probably do a better job at midfield for him, to be fair, than current options.
Yeah, but no, 1-1.
Inflated opinion of themselves. Sorry, Longsworth.
No, yeah, I agree. 1-1. Leeds Burnley 1-1.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds, and we're going to finish it there, guys, because Hal wants to head off, and Hal's good, isn't he?
Thanks,
bit of praise there for you, Mr. Stewart. It's always nice to see. But yeah, make sure you
Chris Wood impression. That was dreadful.
It was good. I thought it was decent, to be fair. It's not an easy impression to do.
Well, I agree with that.
You need to do that. He's emotionless as well when he talks, Chris Wood. You can't tell if he's angry, sad, or happy when he was talking. That was the big thing I noticed about
kind of
Chris
just
Wood.
always, empathetic.
Yeah.
It's so South African that it's not even.
It is.
It's just straight South African.
Just stop trying, mate.
Okay.
That was a bit harsh, that, but yeah. Anyway, just to finish off, guys, make sure you check out our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. 2 brilliant prizes on offer. Ian Pervader, signed and framed Leeds United shirt. 99 tickets available, $4.95 a ticket. Competition ends on Wednesday, the 19th of May. Just seeing all this, like, hey. Oh, right, you all disappear and I do it. Anyway, Wednesday, Corey and Hal are actually completely in sync. Well, they were in sync.
Working hard.
They've been working on this. Out on there. Anyway, Ian Pervader, signed and framed Leeds United shirt. Pele signed, the fantastic Pele signs Brazil shirt in a large montage frame. You actually are proper in sync, $6.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Competition ends on Wednesday, the 19th of May at 7:30. Check it out, guys, and we will leave it there unless anyone else has got anything else to add.
That went better in rehearsals, Corey, but we'll try.
Yeah, we tried. It sort of fell apart at the end, but good effort.
Not like West Ham's fall apart.
Oh. You got a song about Leeds falling apart. Don't worry about us. We're all right.
We're not falling apart this season yet. We're only messing. We all know it's Leicester who fall apart anyway.
I think I've got off very lightly there.
Yeah, but you were never together this season, Hal. You were never actually together in the first place.
It was already started. It was like a jigsaw puzzle just tipped out on the carpet, wasn't it? Yeah.
And you hoovered it. And you hoovered some of the pieces. So you took some of the pieces out the hoover. Then you brought another jigsaw. And you emptied that jigsaw out. The dog ate some.
It was then sick on the hoover.
Then it was sick on the hoover. Hoover didn't work. Anyway,
And then
we
Chris
kind
Wood
of
showed up.
He was like, right, I've got to pick up all these puzzle pieces. They're everywhere. There's dog sick here. It's a right mess. So where's that Hoover gone? What an absolute nightmare this is. This is a sort of a way of
It's very
describing-
South African. That's what it
South
is.
African, yes. It's describing the season. This is like, it's a nightmare. It's all fallen apart. I've got no emotion.
Anyway, we will leave it there. Best of luck to you guys at the weekend, and yeah, we will see you again, guys. See you later.